You know, they was talking, we got you on 8 murders and all this shit. You know, I want my lawyer. So, you know what I'm saying, like, they was after us, Vlad, they was after me, but I feel still hold a burden on me that I want. So
they're mad that you beat your murder.
That's how I feel, because anybody under me who got in trouble after that, they get sent, bro.
Through the book out.
They get sent.
Breaking. What if I told you that one of the most notorious figures in hip-hop history, someone allegedly connected to not 1, not 2, but 9 murders, is still slipping through the feds' fingers like water through a sieve? Yeah, you heard me right. This isn't a movie plot, and it's definitely not a Netflix special. This is real life. And the main character goes by the name Boosie Badass. How does a man survive multiple murder-for-hire charges, allegedly orchestrate a small army of teenage hitmen, and somehow walk free while prosecutors are left scratching their heads in disbelief? Is it luck? Is it strategy? Or is it something darker, something the government can't quite touch? Sources whisper about backroom deals, courtroom shockers, and witnesses who suddenly remembered they had selective amnesia right when they were supposed to spill the tea. And the streets. Oh, the streets are buzzing. People say you don't cross Boosie, you don't disrespect him, and if you do, well, let's just say that the fallout can be explosive. Tonight, we're diving deep, peeling back layers of lies, intimidation, and federal obsession. Strap in, because by the end of this video, you might start questioning everything you thought you knew about power, money, and fear in the rap game. Alright, buckle up, because this is not your usual celebrity gossip story. At the center of this storm is Boosie Badass, a man whose name alone sparks whispers in the streets of Baton Rouge and apparently even causes the feds to break into a cold sweat. Boosie is not just a rapper selling out arenas and stacking platinum plaques. He is a figure surrounded by controversy so thick it could be cut with a knife. Behind the flashing cameras and the flashy jewelry lies a man whose legal history reads like a thriller novel. Years of allegations ranging from firearm incidents to witness intimidation paint a portrait of someone who seems untouchable. Even the federal authorities, who usually pride themselves on uncovering criminal activity, have reportedly struggled to build a case that sticks. Every time a scandal hits, every time a story breaks in the news, Boosie seems to rise above it, emerging unscathed, while the world wonders how it is possible. Insiders close to the situation, who requested anonymity because saying his name out loud can allegedly be dangerous, describe him as operating on sheer audacity. Every move seems calculated, yet effortless. Every public appearance is layered with layers of intrigue.
Every other person come in the house, I talk to him and try to get them. I even call his uncles like, man, won't y'all help me, man, you know.
Are these still Baton Rouge?
Yeah. And as a dad, bro.
Layers of intrigue. Fans see a survivor, a self-made icon, a lyrical genius, while critics see someone who appears to manipulate the system with impunity, someone who has somehow found a way to evade the mechanisms that bring ordinary people down. But beyond the surface, there is a financial side of the story that is even more alarming. Our research and insider accounts suggest that Boosie controls an empire that includes private jets, luxury vehicles, and a mansion whose opulence could make even seasoned billionaires blink. Leaked documents, supposedly from accounting insiders who spoke under condition of strict confidentiality, indicate unexplained cash flows moving through untraceable entities. Some suggest these funds are tied to investments that no one can follow. Transactions that look perfectly legal on paper but raise all kinds of red flags behind closed doors. Social media has exploded with opinions. On one side, there are fans praising his ability to thrive against all odds, calling him a hero of the streets, and on the other,
How you know if I'm drug addict if you never send me to rehab? I was sent straight to the pen. How am I, you know, if I'm a drug addict if you never offered me rehab?
the other side, critics ask how someone can be so publicly visible, yet seemingly immune to the law. Tweets circulate claiming that he could sell out Madison Square Garden while dodging subpoenas simultaneously. That may sound like hyperbole, but the pattern of his life raises questions that no casual observer can ignore. Rumors circulate about a protection network, a group of individuals whose loyalty is so extreme that cooperating witnesses are rare, if not non-existent. One anonymous source said in a hushed voice that the people around him are willing to go to extraordinary lengths to shield him from trouble, describing it as a game of chess where every move is high stakes. Past incidents only add to the picture of someone who walks a line most would consider impossible. Legal battles, sudden witness no-shows, and vanishing evidence have created a trail that seems designed to frustrate law enforcement. Each incident adds another layer to the aura of invincibility surrounding him. The rhythm of controversies is almost ritualistic. Accusations emerge, lawyers scramble, media explodes, and somehow he emerges unscathed, while authorities are left scratching.
There's no turnover where you're not gonna get busted. You're gonna get busted because you get big enough, they just gonna make accusations on you.
Scratching their heads. This pattern makes some observers question whether there are systemic failures at play, or if there is something more deliberate at work. What complicates matters further are the whispers of connections to underground activities, networks that the public has never seen and that mainstream media tends to ignore. Some reports hint at gambling operations and alliances with figures whose reputations are built on fear and secrecy. Security is tight around him, bank accounts are opaque, and his influence, real or perceived, stretches into areas most people would never dare to enter. It raises the question of how someone can operate in such a high-profile way and yet remain untouchable. The feds are reportedly asking themselves that question at all hours while he continues to release music, tours the country, and maintain an image that is both provocative and untouchable. Observers suggest that the controversies, the legal battles, and the flashy public persona might all serve as a distraction, a way to keep attention focused on the spectacle while the deeper operations remain hidden. What if the real story is not the lawsuits or the social media drama, but the networks, the money, and the influence that remain largely invisible to the public eye? The more this pattern is examined, the more it begins to feel like there is an entire world operating just beyond the reach of conventional law enforcement. A world where Boosie moves like a king on a chessboard, seemingly untouchable, and yet somehow always in plain sight. Each scandal adds suspense, each rumor adds a layer of intrigue, and each public reaction fuels the sense that this is more than just the story of a rapper. It is a story about power, influence, and the gaps in a system that claims to uphold justice. Observers cannot help but wonder if this is simply the tip of the iceberg, and that the deeper, more consequential truth is still hidden beneath the surface. What happens next is where the story truly explodes into something uncontainable, because the deeper you dig into Boosie's world, the more it feels like reality itself is bending to keep him untouchable. Our sources, speaking from...
So we ain't gonna take it away from R. Kelly.
Stevie
Don't
Wonder.
start me now.
Stevie Wonder.
Hell no.
Stevie Wonder.
R. Kelly got more hits than a motherfucker. R. Kelly the truth.
Speaking from both sides of the law, suggests that federal investigators have been running through mountains of documents, piecing together a puzzle that looks increasingly like a labyrinth with no exit. The allegations are staggering, and they paint a portrait of a man whose influence might extend far beyond music. Inside reports, which no mainstream outlet has dared to publish, describe lavish spending habits that border on absurdity. Private jets flying coast to coast with entire entourages, luxury cars that never leave his driveway but somehow appear in multiple states, and parties that reportedly cost more than the GDP of small towns. There are whispers that some of this money is moving through shell companies and untraceable accounts, a maze designed to keep anyone trying to follow the trail perpetually lost. Social media has been a feeding frenzy. Fans post screenshots of exotic cars, private concerts, and snippets from his life that seem almost cinematic. Critics, on the other hand, speculate about a level of corruption that sounds like something out of a Netflix true crime series. Anonymous insiders describe a system in which loyalty is everything and betrayal is not an option. One source told us that even a casual...
A lot of things this case has stopped me from doing, traveling all across the world, making... So I just want to get it over with, you know.
Comment on the wrong social media post could draw attention from the people surrounding him. The atmosphere is described as tense, charged, and electric, with a constant undertone that there is more going on than the public can ever see. Public reactions range from disbelief to awe. Some see Boosie as a genius, a man who has mastered the art of navigating the system while building an empire. Others question whether anyone can be that untouchable without bending or breaking the rules in ways the public cannot fully understand. The leaked documents and investigative tips suggest connections that stretch across industries. Industries most people would not even think to check for ties to a rapper. Entertainment lawyers, financial analysts, and former government officials have all weighed in anonymously, hinting at a level of influence that most celebrities could only dream of. The fallout from the revelations has been immediate.
When they get back to the streets, they gonna fuck with new bitches. They selfish. Rats are selfish. They don't give a fuck.
In certain circles. In Washington, sources suggest that high-level conversations are taking place about whether new measures, need to be enacted to close loopholes that someone like Boosie could exploit. Some insiders claim that resignations are being quietly discussed in offices you would not expect. As the implications of the leaks and findings ripple outward, fans continue to cheer his every move, unaware or perhaps unconcerned about the shadow network described by the sources. Critics argue that the public is watching a spectacle while ignoring the consequences of concentrated power and influence operating in ways that evade scrutiny. The tension escalates as hypotheticals emerge about federal probes, subpoenas, and even potential charges that could be filed. Every time a new detail surfaces, it feels like the ground shifts under the narrative, revealing layers that seem intentionally hidden, orchestrated with precision. Imagined scenarios of financial collapses, high-stakes raids, and sudden disappearances of key figures fuel online debates. Commentators speculate,
You know, because you're going to get busted in the dope game. I don't give a fuck how you big you get. You're going to get busted.
You don't smoke weed, nothing.
Yeah, I don't
you're
do
still,
that.
you got your ankle bracelet on
Yeah.
still.
That's
So
uncommon.
you're not going to touch nothing. But
about whether the system is failing or whether it is just being outmaneuvered by someone who understands the rules better than anyone else. Meanwhile, in the public eye, Boosie continues to perform, release music, and maintain a persona that feels untouchable. That duality is what fascinates observers the most. On one side, there is the artist with a loyal fan base and a rising cultural impact. On the other, there is a man whose real-world influence is suspected to touch corners of the economy and law enforcement that are rarely examined. The more this pattern is analyzed, the more it resembles a high-stakes thriller. Every party, every transaction, every public statement is like a chess piece moving on a board the public cannot see. The speculation is relentless. Will the feds finally catch up? Will there be a public reckoning? Or is the legend of Boosie as untouchable as it appears? A story of power, cunning, and the ability to stay just out of reach. The suspense is relentless, leaving everyone watching on the edge of their seats, debating what is real and what is orchestrated to maintain the myth. It is a narrative that refuses to settle, that grows more complicated with every rumor, every leak, and every high-profile appearance. The consequences, whether imagined or imminent, hang in the balance as the public waits, watches, and wonders just how far this story will go before it reaches a conclusion that no one truly expects. The tension, the intrigue, and the questions left unanswered create a perfect storm of controversy, speculation, and fascination that will not dissipate anytime soon. So where does that leave us? Are we witnessing the rise of a man who plays by his own rules? Or is this a ticking time bomb that could finally blow the roof off everything we think we know about fame, power, and corruption? The questions are endless, and the answers are buried deep in shadows only a few dare to explore. Maybe the feds will finally catch up, maybe they won't. But one thing is clear: Boosie has made the public complicit in his legend. And now we're all part of the spectacle whether we like it or not. What would you do if someone could bend the system while smiling for the cameras? Would you cheer? Would you question? Or would you try to look away? This story isn't over. Not by a long shot. And every like, comment, and share adds fuel to a fire that no one saw coming. So, hit that subscribe button, drop your thoughts below, and stay tuned because the next chapter might just be bigger, crazier, and more shocking than anything we've uncovered so far. Remember, in a world full of secrets, curiosity is your only defense.